Hi, my name is Jalen, and I'm gonna be going over the overall construction of our guitar. So, as you can see in the picture here, this is our finished guitar. For the body of the guitar, we used a 2-liter distilled water bottle. As you can see in the photo, this made up the body of the guitar, and we chose this size because one, it matched the overall size of the neck of the guitar, and we figured that the bigger the body, the more resonance it would have. The next thing we added was a wooden dowel. I believe this wooden dowel is about 3 to 4 feet tall, and this made the neck of the guitar. So this was placed inside the bottle, facing upwards, and used to hold our string. The last piece of equipment needed to create this guitar was the string. This string is wrapped toward the bottom and up to the top of the neck on the wooden dowel and tensioned in order to create the sound of the guitar. So how does this guitar work? As you can see, there is a continuous string that is ran from the bottom of the guitar that runs up to the top of the neck and back down the other side of the bottle. We were able to use one string with 2 loops at either end. So the first loop was fastened to the bottom, goes through the bridge of our guitar, which is the bottle cap, runs up the neck and back down the neck onto the other side. And the way we were able to tie these loops, we were able to tension the string to make it the necessary tightness to produce a musical note. Here's a closer look at the string on the bottle. As you can see, like I said, it's attached at the bottom, secured to the ridges, and we use the bottle cap to act as a bridge to elevate the string to provide even more tension. And here's just a final shot of the guitar with the string running up the neck. So the way it would produce a sound is you would press down the string onto the neck of the guitar and it would produce a tone. And we were actually able to tune the guitar so that depending on what part of the neck you are playing, the tone may be flatter or sharper, depending on how high or low you are on the neck.
So with the bottle bass, when played in an open, large space, there's actually not a lot of definition or tone in the sound as opposed to when it is plugged in the closet. And this likely has to just do with the tonal range or the frequency range of the instrument. It tends to be on the lower side with low mids, and in a smaller space you hear a lot of that more. A lot of the sound actually comes from the bottle area, like the cap area, which acts as the bridge of the instrument, almost like a sound hole as well, even though there's no cavity, and that's where the mic is placed. And here's an example of how it sounds mic'd. And here's how you can potentially use the bottle bass in musical context.
To the trials and issues we ended up running into when building our bottle guitar. A lot of it had to do with the materials we ended up using. Since it was household materials, we ended up trying our best to make sure that they were structurally sound, but we still ended up running into some issues. First one being that our bottle, we initially wanted something that had deeper grooves as to slot our string into so that it would stay secure. Unfortunately, ours had a shallow groove on the bottom, so we had a hard time securing our string at first. What ended up working out really well for us was, as we were trying to re-secure it, we ended up bending a bit of the bottom, and that created some deeper grooves, and that is kind of a happy accident and made the string more secure for us. The next thing we ended up running into as an issue was with the dowel we ended up using. So the dowel itself was not wide enough to fit snug through the top part of the bottle. So to try and make sure that it could stay structurally in the same place and more snug and sound, we drilled a hole through the lid and put the dowel through that, so that way when it was sitting through the top it had somewhere snug, and then we glued it on the bottom, and then that way there was going to be no issues with having it stay in a central position and be consistent. The last thing we were kind of running into as a bit of an issue was the tuning aspect of it. We did tie a good knot, a taut line knot, and that we were able to adjust that, and we still can when need be, which is great because as most string instruments do, they run out of tune as temperature changes and usage. So what happened with that as well, just to make sure that we could know where we started off and where we were hearing those notes to begin with, was we drew little lines on the dowel to kind of make a fret. So then that way we knew if once we heard that specific pitch come back, we knew we had the tuning right.
Now, you might be wondering, how does it actually produce sound? Well, I know at first glance, these objects might not look like musical instruments at all, but when we put them together the right way, they create a system that behaves just kind of like a real guitar. The key idea here is vibration. Sound is basically vibration traveling through the air. In a traditional guitar, the strings vibrate when you pluck them, and the wooden body amplifies those vibrations. In our DIY version, the string also vibrates, and this vibration moves the air around them, which creates the sound we hear. Next, the bottle and wooden pole work together kind of like the neck and body of a guitar. The wooden pole provides the structure and helps transfer the vibration of the string, while the hollow bottle acts as a resonating chamber. When the string vibrates, some of that vibration moves into the bottle, and by extension, the air inside it amplifies the sound, just like the hollow body of an acoustic guitar. The tightness of the string, its length, and its material all affect pitch. A tighter or shorter string vibrates faster, creating a higher sound, and a looser or longer string vibrates more slowly, making a deeper sound. So even with simple materials, we can control the notes we produce. In our case, we utilize a special kind of knot that helps us change the tension of the string, which, if you think about it, kind of functions like the tuning peg on a traditional guitar. And also, where you place your finger on the pole is kind of mimicking the way that you place your finger on the fretboard to change the actual note you're making, because you're changing the length of the string that is actually vibrating. And finally, since tension is really important in a stringed instrument, the bottle cap or any anchor point helps keep the string in the same place. And it functions almost like the bridge and tuning pegs on a real guitar that help you maintain that tension. So even though it's made from everyday items, this DIY guitar works because basically it uses the same scientific principles as real instruments: vibrating strings, resonating bodies, and controlled tension to help you change the pitch. And it shows that music does not rely on expensive or magical equipment. It relies on creativity, physics, and understanding how sound works. Thank you.
String is made by twisting strands of fibers together. It is less dense and rigid than steel. Plastic is firm but malleable. These qualities affect the sound produced by the bottle guitar. The string is tied with a bowline knot around the base of the bottle. Then it is fed through a sawed gap in the wooden dowel and wrapped around the base again. The end is tied using a taut line hitch, and tension, or tuning, can be increased or decreased from there. The plastic cap of the bottle acts as a bridge and captures vibrations from the string. Vibrations are transferred into the plastic walls of the bottle and resonate within its chamber. The instrument has a soft, twangy, and slightly percussive tone. It has a sharp attack, low sustain, and decays shortly after plucking. Most of the instrument's sound comes from its initial attack. The low sustain is due to the materials used, as well as the lack of resonating features. As tension increases with higher notes, the instrument's sustain increases. This implies that higher notes on the bottle guitar can be held for longer passages, while lower notes may serve a more rhythmic or even percussive role. The instrument's decay is due to instability in its construction. The taut line tension cannot be maintained as higher notes are played. Fluctuating tensions from the fretted string slacken the hitch's grip, resulting in tuning loss, lack of sustain, and rapid decay. The bottle guitar can produce notes from D3 to D5. This means that it has a fundamental frequency of 146.83 Hz, and its first harmonic appears at 293.66 Hz. The third harmonic appears at 440.49 Hz. Its fourth harmonic appears at 587.32 Hz. Its fifth harmonic appears at 734.15 Hz. Sixth harmonic appears at 880.98 Hz.